Realtor Karl Miller with Dalton and Company. We talked about having a home inspection.
There's additional steps or contingencies or inspection clauses that can be added into a purchase agreement. I just wanted to kind of talk about those a little bit today.
Yeah, pumping out the septic system. That I know can be an expensive issue if you have problems with it.
Most of the properties in the city, not all of them, but the majority of the homes in the city are on city sewer, and even some in the county are on county sewer as well. The soil here we have is fairly good compared to most parts of the country. I mean, there's some parts of the country where it's required the septic tank is pumped out every 2 or 3 years, and you have to file that with the health department. Here in South Central Virginia, the soil overall is pretty good for the most part with perking and drain field issues, but the septic tank companies recommend that they're pumped every 5 to 7 years or so. The reality is a lot of people just never pump out their septic, and they don't have problems. I mean, that's fairly common for septic tanks to go 20, 30, 40 years without ever being pumped. I'm not a scientist or anything, but they say the key is to have high bacteria count in your septic tank. As a buyer, it's not unreasonable when you're in a transaction to ask the seller to pump it out, and even go so far as to have a camera lens kind of run down the drain lines, or just to make sure that there's no tree roots encroaching, because that can be a problem if you've got trees, especially maple trees or willow trees. If there's any of those types of trees in the vicinity of the drain field, those can get into the drain lines, and those can cause problems. The older systems that are still around, there's still some of these old terracotta type pipelines, the terracotta clay lines. Those things tend to crumble, and if that's the case, you'd want to know that as a buyer. It's very reasonable to ask the seller to have the septic tank pumped out.
You say about $300 to $500. When you look at the scope of what you're paying for a house, that seems worth it. And what it would cost to fix all that.
That's right. So it's worth it. And sometimes you can even ask the seller to do that. Whether or not the seller agrees, you can negotiate through that.
You can always ask.
You can always ask. That's right.
How do people get in touch?
Our office line is 434-239-2394, 239-2394. Our website is karlmillerteam.com, Karl with a K. And we'd be happy to answer any questions that any of your listeners have. We'd love to help them get where they want to go as we move into spring with their housing needs.
Karl Miller with Dalton and Company. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patty.